Hello, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and welcome to January. The exciting news of the month is on January 11th, the nodes of fate, which were sextiling and trining your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant for the past year and a half, will shift now over from your Aries 5th house of love, luck, and romance and children, and your Libra 11th house of large groups, humanitarian groups, internet, science, tech, technology, windfalls, friends, celebrities, etc., just to name a few, over to the Pisces Virgo axis until July 26, 2026. Pisces rules your 4th house of home and family, the people you live with, land and property, ancestral stories, and is the base of our chart where our story begins. The South Node will be in Virgo, your 10th house of career, status, fame, father figures, government jobs, politicians, status, title. It's the legacy that we wish to leave behind in the world. The energy for this new shift started to occur with the lunar Pisces eclipse in September, and I drew a tarot card for that eclipse for you and described it in detail, and I'll link that video for you down in the description box below, as well as all of the important dates that I'll list in this video, so don't worry about having to try to jot those down. Since July 2023, the spotlight had been on your creative projects, love, romance, fun, good luck, children, winning, sports, and being in the spotlight, or more focused on your desires and what you like to do for fun. You could have met a significant fated romantic partner, had a child. It could have also been your children who had this luck from the 5th house. The 5th house is good luck from a past life. You could have begun a creative project, having anything to do with children, with theater, with the arts, anything, that shows your creativity, really. Jupiter rules you and is still in your house of the other, Gemini, your 7th house, until June. So if you did meet someone significant since July 2023, it could have progressed from your romantic house of the 5th up to a serious partner, even marriage in your 7th. The 7th is our serious committed partnerships. You could have found a business partner, agent, publicist, media rep, with the 1st, 5th, and 7th houses all being active. Don't worry if you didn't see something crystallize in that 5th house area or even the 7th house, because you still have Jupiter in that 7th house. Jupiter moved into Gemini last May and will stay there until this June. But don't worry, because there'll be one more solar eclipse in that 5th house in Aries on March 29th at 8 degrees, affecting you most, Sag, Sun, Moon, or Rising from 4 to 14 degrees, or also if you have Libra placements at those degrees, Aries, Cancer, or Capricorn. Solar eclipses bring something new in the house that they're sitting in, and it's usually an exciting new beginning or something can materialize for you. And for you, that's your lucky 5th house. You can also win competition, speculative gains, lottery house. The other house of winning money is the 11th house. The South Node of Libra was actually sitting in your 11th house, and you could have let go with ease. An old group of friends, groups in general, you were less focused on socializing in group settings, probably less involved with media, tech, etc., and just more interested in yourself, being more self-directed, as in having more joy in life, more fun, creative pursuits. As wherever the South Node sits, we are already familiar with that place and we have less interest there. But an interesting thing to note is that we can use the South Node to accomplish things in that opposing house, the North Node of Destiny, and Fate was sitting for you in that 5th. So for example, let's say you were working on a creative project or trying out for roles in a play, a movie, etc., and a past life person from a large network in that 11th house you were connected to maybe connected you with an agent or a lucky person. This person would have been lucky for you because that 11th house also is a very lucky house, and who would have also fit that 7th house story as well, since Jupiter is in that 7th house and can represent your close personal partner, agent, business relationship. One thing I like to point out is that Ketu, or the South Node, it does not block that Saturn's job. Ketu is the tail of the dragon that sweeps away old karmic stories. It's the node of past lives, and the head of the dragon is Rahu, which is an all-consuming hungry mouth that wants to devour whatever is in the house that it sits in. It's fated with the North Node, but it's also unfamiliar territory and can seem very scary at first because you're just not used to it. Oh, and one more thing. The energy of the 5th house will actually continue on for quite some years, and you'll be getting trines from Saturn and Neptune here. So I actually think this will be easier energy for you than when it was in Pisces, and even very good for you, as opposed to maybe some of the other signs. Anyway, we have Neptune heading into Aries on March 30th, the day after the solar eclipse, and then Saturn will move in on the 24th. They'll stay there for a brief amount of time before retrograding back into Pisces, and then they'll go back into Aries once again for permanent. They will form a conjunction first late spring as a prelude to that on May 24th at 0 degrees of Aries, and then they'll form a conjunction again when they move back into Aries February 20th, 2026 at 0 degrees, which is the Fool card in the tarot and represents new beginnings, hope, and faith in the universe. And the lead up to that energy, and let me just explain real quick, that Saturn-Neptune conjunction can very much look like a dream coming to life or a dream meets reality. And if you had put in some kind of effort into some creative goal, you could see it materialize at the time of the conjunction. If you don't see it materialize, or there is something that you still really want to do, this conjunction can kind of highlight where there might be weak areas and give you a stable, solid structure to start working with and planning for. The lead up also to this energy is there is another Saturn conjunction where Saturn's quite active this spring. Saturn will conjunct the North Node in Pisces, and that's going to happen in your 4th house of home and family. At the end of March, it will come exact April 18th through the 22nd, and it will be felt until the end of May. So some fated circumstance with home and family can come up for a new beginning to emerge as Saturn and Neptune start to head into that 5th house. There could be a dream or a goal that you had been working on that can crystallize with that Saturn conjunction, whether it's, with the node of fate or when it meets up with Neptune. But first, it may show where there are weak links or areas that need to be strengthened and fixed karmically. But the gift will be given as long as you put in the work. Saturn will always deliver, but only if you do the work and do it consistently. The 4th house is where the North Node is now going. This covers your family, your home, ancestral land, family conditioning for better or for worse, motherhood, people you live with. You could have fated new beginnings in home and family with your children or for your children if you have any. You can find a new home and maybe a bigger one as Jupiter rules you in your 4th house, possibly near water because we're talking about Pisces. And or it could be a dream home, right? Because Neptune rules our dreams and fantasies. And it will also Jupiter will go into Cancer, who rules you, over into Cancer in June in your 9th house, the house that you rule. So it could be finding land or property that will stay in your family as maybe even like a legacy property for years to come, or investment property in another country. Since the 9th house rules foreign lands, Jupiter in Cancer in the 9th house is Jupiter has come home and rules you and will be exalted in that 9th house. So I think this is going to be a very beautiful year in that 9th house area with Jupiter sitting there. Jupiter will trine over to your water houses, your Pisces 4th house and your Scorpio 12th house of past lives. The 12th house also rules distant land, foreign land again. So I can see possibly a move or definite travel to, foreign land, possibly over the course of the year, 2 years. It will trine Saturn, Neptune, and the North Node in that 4th house, and this could be very fortunate in healing a family story if there was any wounding, a letting go of past life issues to begin a new origin story. Maybe you will begin that story in a literal, new home overseas, and a higher perspective, or a new way of thinking and looking at things can emerge, and healing some kind of old conditioning or thoughts or patterns from family. And if you have a perfectly happy, normal family life, it could have, been speaking to something that is ancestral in nature. If that doesn't speak to you, it could be like you working from home. You are the teacher, the traveler, teaching from home, or working on creative projects, and you can earn notoriety or foreign money from a home-based business. All in all, I think the Jupiter transit will be really nice, alleviating and healing any kind of Saturn crunch or blockage or karmic stories or issues that you may have been feeling in that home environment since Saturn moved in. And I think that was March 2023. So over the past few years, but also freeing your mind, so you could be having a lighter, brighter, like happier state. Jupiter will be back home and seeing things in a new way while your ruler transits that 9th house for a whole year going into 2026. So I do really like this for you, Sag. Take care. We'll see you in February.